And it was actually while I was there working as a developer, we had a another team that were working on a prepaid credit card system. It's a multi-currency one, and they were struggling a bit. Initially, it was just one junior developer, then they had two junior developers working on it. But these two poor guys, well, a guy and a girl, were sat on their own, trying to get this project up and running and working and what have you. And so I was asked by my boss, could I, help them out a bit?
Right.
Now, I think they were expecting me to just go and do a couple of code reviews, just see what was going on and what have you. As it was, I got in there, started working with them, and realised that the developers themselves, there was no problem with that at all. They were good. They were juniors, but they were really good, talented developers, and they knew what they were doing.
Yeah.
Problem was the lack of organisation.
Okay.
So they were having loads of requests fired at them, left, right, and centre. And being juniors, they were just trying to respond to everything.
Right. Okay. So like, almost like juggling fire in the sense of like no triage or priorities.
Yeah, exactly.
Yeah.
I like the way I like to say it. They were trying to firefight with a super soaker full of petroleum.
Oh God.
It just wasn't working.
No.
So rather than having to get involved in doing any of the coding and what have you, my first thing I did there was to actually implement a Kanban board.
Okay.
So, so for anybody who doesn't know what a Kanban board, it's an agile way of organizing software project. Well, any project really. Software is a particular use case for it, where you have columns, a set of columns. So it might be as simple as to do, doing, done.
Right. Yep.
And then you have your tasks in those columns, and then everything goes in the to-do column, and you just order them highest priority to lowest priority. But the key workflow that you use with that is you only ever work on one or two items,
right?
And you are not allowed to touch anything else until that item has gone from to-do across to done.
It's very black and white.
So
yeah.
It is that simple, but it's very effective, particularly when you're trying to firefight like they were. Because you can't work on 5 different things, particularly on the same code base.
Yeah.
Your merge requests get very messy. You start to trip over yourself. You'll implement something halfway, start to rely on that, and then realize that you've gone down a rabbit hole and you need to re-implement it. It's not a good way to work at all.
No, and that's the beauty of Agile, because it allows you to, well, if you do it correctly, it allows you to have more of a oversight as to the scale of the issues that you have to deal with. The size of the problem, because a lot of developers in that position who are juggling all sorts of things at once, they don't appreciate the actual scale of everything coming through, and decisions get made that perhaps will affect things later on, and perhaps those decisions aren't the best. They've only been done because someone's been shouting the loudest, rather than this is actually a technical priority that needs to be done right now. So gosh, so that you must have changed a whole sort of the atmosphere and the ecosystem around development there.
Very much for this team, among other things. So we got to this point where now there was a bit of stability in the team. So we had a clear idea of the scale of the work we had to do. We were prioritizing it. We were actually getting things moved from one side to the other, and we get them done. So that was the first step. We actually stabilized.